This is the rhythm of life across America in the age of climate change. We brace for natural disasters, we flee them, we fight them, we hunker down, and we endure them. Then we recover and rebuild back to where we were, and then we wait again and do it all over again the following year. Since Hurricane Katrina, there have been over $150 billion disasters. Events causing losses of $1 billion or more. The 2017 disasters caused $306 billion in damage, nearly 100 million more than the previous record, which was set in 2005 by Katrina. As epic disasters have become more routine, the usual responses, complacency, denial, and panic, don't work anymore. That's why Americans are having, across the country, a long overdue conversation about resiliency. They realize that our security and our very lives depend on making sure that communities are smarter and stronger and safer and better able to withstand the next storm or fire or hurricane or drought, and the next and the next. And it's not just a conversation. Disaster recovery is a fast-growing sector of our economy. The rebuilding of our cities after disasters has become America's largest annual infrastructure project. The engine that drives it, however, is overlooked, which is the labor of ordinary people. It's being carried out by an emerging workforce, which we call the resilience workforce. The people who make us resilient include the most vulnerable among us: undocumented immigrants building Florida, the Panhandle, and Miami after storms and hurricanes, the black and brown people rebuilding Houston after Harvey, the women inmates putting out the fires in California. All of these together are rebuilding America. As we invest billions to build a more resilient infrastructure, it's also imperative that we build the workforce capable of doing this rebuilding and invest in the men and women in that workforce. Our resilience workforce deserves to be recognized. It deserves to be rewarded. One way to do this is to treat this workforce like the public servants that they are. They are preparing us for natural disasters, and we can protect them by creating a nationwide resilience corps, modeled on the Civilian Conservation Corps, which was part of the New Deal program that put 3 million people to work. A resilience corps for America needs to number in the millions to overcome the extraordinary labor shortages we face in the construction industry. We can reach those numbers by running training programs, legalizing the undocumented who are already doing the work, and expunging the records of the formerly incarcerated so that they can enter this labor market. Workers could be protected. Workers could be protected by labor standards attached to federal money. And this is important because the Green New Deal is an extraordinary framework. It is equally important that as we work out the details, the Green New Deal not replicate the problems with the New Deal. The New Deal created the middle class, but also hardened the racial caste system that drives labor economics in America. So creating a resilience corps would power the recoveries of disaster-hit cities. It would also solve for widening inequality. Disaster recovery has become a hidden driver of inequality and wealth disparity in America. Because our federal rules of recovery are tied to rebuilding property, not people, there is an enormous transfer of wealth from the hands of people of color into the hands of white homeowners. And I've seen it again and again in city after disasters. A resilience corps can upend that dynamic. So as disaster strikes city after city, this booming resilience economy could go forward by leaving ordinary people behind. That's what happened in Silicon Valley, in the tech sector. Or we could rewrite the rules of recovery to create opportunity and security for millions of Americans as they struggle to recover. Like auto workers in another era, this workforce could rise to become the new middle class of the country that they're rebuilding. These proposals may seem ambitious in a political environment that's characterized by polarization and gridlock, but after disasters, I am here to tell you communities come together across differences to rebuild, and so must we. As our communities seek higher ground, so must our debate. A resilience corps would build new social cohesion, which is exactly what the doctor ordered, a new we. We would quite literally be rebuilding America, and we must. Thank you.